Okay, so this is going to be a quick video to walk through the solution to the doing the table one of the table lookups for problem 5. Okay, so it's yeah, my apologies. I was supposed to post a different problem, um, so I got the wrong we got the wrong one out there. Also, it's a little it's this one's a little complicated, so I want to walk you through it. All right, so you have a sense here. There's a couple pieces we didn't go over in extreme detail, but I wanted to show it. You wanted to be able to take a look at it, and if you haven't submitted it yet, you can make any adjustments you need to make. All right. So what we've got is let's look at our problem definition here. All right. So the third one is where so we have a couple of these in here, but we can use the same technique for both. All right. So what we've got is a situation where uh, we've done in step 2. So we've created the different named ranges for the tables we're doing the lookup on, which is important to have that. So we got to do 2 before we can do 3 because we're going to need um, to access the lesson pricing table. All right. So for part 3, what it's asking for is, uh, you know, we have on the student data sheet, we have a column here which is the price per hour. All right, and then what we have is on our data tables, we have a table where we actually have a markup of the lesson pricing for lesson pricing for beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. On a half hour, hour and a half, and 2 hour basis. All right. So we have that. So we have this table here that we're going to need to pull data from. All right. And what we will use is the key to get access to it. Since it's based upon the skill level, we're going to use the advanced feature here. Or excuse me, we're going to use the data that's in column H, which is the skill level, to do a lookup in that table. All right. Now the thing is, the table actually, if we look at the table, it's actually a multi-dimensional table. All right. So one of the things we need to do is we need to figure out before we can do the lookup. All right. We need to figure out what level somebody is at. Okay. Once we identify where somebody is at, then we can pull the appropriate value from the table. All right. You see that? Okay. So what we'll need to do is, so we've got a couple things. So we have that. So we have, as we had shown before, they put in the other video, the index and match video. We have this is really the formula we're using to pull data. Now in this case, what we're doing is we're pulling data from it. We really have 2 tables we're going against. Right. So what we have is we have this overall C3 to C11. All right. Which is all of the data, which has the names and it has all of the data within it. And then in addition, what we have is this smaller column of data, right, which is the B3 to B11, which has the names in it. All right, so what we need to do is, first thing we need to do is we need to match the name, identify the name, what column the name is, or what row the name is in, and then feed it into the index. All right, so it's a 2-step process. So let's look at that as it matches up on our music lessons sheet. All right, so in this case, what I've got is I'm going to be using, and not only is it not, the other trick about this is it's on another worksheet. All right, so it's on the data tables worksheet, not on the same, not on the same one. What to do if we take a look at the data tables, what we will need to do here is go through this list right here, basically the list of the different items, figure out what line that's on. okay, what row it's on, and then we'll take the second column, which is the dot, which is the hourly rate, if you follow that. All right, so it's a two-step process. So this is going to be a match inside of an index. So I go to my user data, and we look at my formula here. What oh, hang on a sec, I got something hosed up here, so let me get out of this. Because I copied two things around. Back to my music lessons, okay. All right, good. So what I've done is I've got first thing I'm going to do is I need to do a match of the data that's in H3 against a range of data here. So this is going to be, I'm going to go to the data tables tab. I'm going to look in the range of A5 to A8. And also note, it's a fixed address. All right, so it's $A, $5, $A, $8. Right, it has to be, because when I copied that formula, I want it to be that we have to stay in that address. We don't want the address. We need an absolute address. We don't need a variable address. Okay, so that will give me. So if I do this, if I do a match of looking for this against this table here, all right, what it will do is it will give me the address, the column or the row where the advanced is at. And when I go to the next line, it'll give me the row where the immediate is at. And then I can use that row, I can plug that row into the index formula, which will then give me back the value. All right, so it's a two-step process, but there's a basic structure to it. So there's the two of these, if you look at what's in here and if you look at what's in here, they're really the same thing. All right, it's just that we've added a couple more. I mean, one of the tricks we have in here is that we actually, in our case here, we need to do the thing that makes this more complicated is that we need to use the fixed address. We have to change the address. We have to go to a different tab, and we have to use absolute addresses. Now, if you wanted to simplify this, what we could do is come out to this table here. Another approach would be, and make this right here, this range, I could make it a named range. Give it a name, plug that into the formula, which will simplify it quite a bit. All right, so it'll work the same way. All right, and then around it, and then the last part of this is the if-err. All right, so what I do is I actually built all of this. I built all of this formula here. And then I wrappered it with an if-err. Okay, and the way the if-err will work is it'll see what comes back from the index and the matching. If it comes back okay, what it'll do is I'll just multiply the result by times 1. All right, so it'll give me the result. Otherwise, it'll put a blank. And if you look, we got a couple skill levels here that are blank. All right. So what will happen is when we try to do this match, we'll get an error. It'll create an error condition. And if you don't put the if error, what you'll see is you'll see an error message pop up here, in these fields. So by doing it this way, by putting the if error, wrapping the index and the match in an if error, you should be able to, you should get around that. Right? So you can use this formula to to punch in here to give you this information. I think there's another one. I think on the problem there might be another place where we have to do that. It'll be a similar kind of thing. I think we have VLOOKUPs combination over right here. So actually 6 will work in a similar, kind of in a similar fashion. All right. So if there's a as I said, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to. As I said on the email, what I'm going to do is I won't ding on that one. So basically, you'll get credit on both those steps. All right, for the points on those, we'll get those automatically. But if you haven't submitted it yet, you should be able. You can go back if you want. Take that. Take a look at that formula, punch that formula in, and you should get that to work. All right. So hopefully that clears that up.